Several teams missed number 17 and 18, and where 15 was a bit of factual information that whether you knew or didn't know isn't that big a deal. Number 17 and 18 emphasized the very central analytical framework of chapters 12 and 13. So this is critical information. Number 17, what is the vertical distance between the private and social supply curves, which are also known as the marginal private cost and marginal social cost curves, respectively? Well, as we know from our reading, the marginal private cost curve is the supply curve that we've been dealing with all along. This is the cost that suppliers of electricity face, and these are the costs that private agents interacting in market think about as they make their decisions about how much electricity to supply. The whole point of the externality chapters is that in this case there's just external costs. There can be external benefits too, but here we see that the private demand and social demand, marginal private value and marginal social value curves are all the same, so there's no positive externalities. Anyway, when there are costs that fall on people outside of this market, those are true social costs, but they're not included in the costs that participants in the market think about. That by definition, marginal social costs include all the marginal private costs. Private producers of electricity are part of society, but the costs that fall on people outside the market, we call those marginal external costs, and the sum of those two together make up marginal social costs. So that makes C the right answer here, marginal external cost. It's marginal social costs are the sum of marginal private costs and marginal external costs at any given level of output. And graphically speaking, that means that the vertical distance, I'm just taking this at Q naught, the vertical distance between the marginal social cost curve and the marginal private cost curve is always the marginal external cost. And here they're constant, right? The vertical distance is the same whatever quantity we're producing. That isn't always the case. Number 18 was one of the harder ones on the quiz, and let's think about this. I couldn't reproduce both the question and my full graph, but I think I've got enough of the graph to show. Let's think about these three statements one by one. The unregulated market outcome results in more electricity being produced than would the socially best outcome. Well, that's right? Supply and demand intersect at P naught and Q naught, but private agents aren't thinking about all the costs in the market. So that market outcome of Q naught doesn't take into account these very real social costs. Our new efficiency rule is going to be we get an economically efficient outcome when markets or when any sector is in the situation where marginal social value, marginal social benefits are just equal to marginal social costs. So this is our efficiency rule. And notice that marginal social value curve, that's the social demand curve, and marginal social cost curves intersect at Q naught. So statement number one is definitely true. Statement number two, the unregulated market outcome results in deadweight loss. Let me change colors here. Red connotes loss. Let's change to red. Turns out past Q star, that's the optimal, every kilowatt hour of electricity costs more than it benefits members of society. Costs greater than benefits, costs greater than benefits. And we add up all those excessive costs and excessive benefits for all those kilowatt hours of electricity that were too many, we'd get this red shaded area, which happens to be the dead weight loss. So the unregulated market outcome, that's at Q naught and P naught, results in dead weight loss, yes, at this red triangle, dead weight loss. If you're going to, this short screencast has just encapsulated the main theoretical framework of these two chapters. So you can play this again if you're finding yourself missing some of the analytical details in this chapter. All right, so 2 is true. 3, there are significant positive externalities that result from electricity production in the U.S. Nope. We've got by marginal private value and marginal social value functions are equal. That means there are no positive externalities. So 1 and 2 are correct. D is the right answer.